Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Matt, and if you're new here, this is my little corner of the internet where I talk about my hobbies, mainly knitting, but sometimes I do talk about some other things. Welcome on in, and if you're a returning viewer, it's great to see you again. So, if you had watched my last video, you might have seen that I actually returned back to Canada from South Korea. I had a wonderful time in South Korea. In the last about a year and a half, I have been there, living there for about a year or so, it was definitely a fun time. I really am going to miss it. I'm a big fan of street photography, and I really love just walking around in Seoul and taking photos of the culture and the people, and it's just something you don't really get here in Canada. It's just not dense enough for my street photography, I guess, needs. In the city of Seoul, it's almost about, in the 20-kilometer squared area, it's almost about the exact same population as the entirety of Canada. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea of how dense and how much more opportunities you have to take pictures of people for street photography. So I'm really definitely going to miss it. I have kind of collected some of my pictures that I took there, and I'm thinking about making a photography book with it. I kind of want to hand make it all myself, so print the pages myself and hand bind all the books, so it might just be a very limited run, but I'm just kind of thinking about the idea for that. But yeah, so this is going to be my backdrop for my videos for the next little while. I did take a little bit of a break as I was traveling back to Canada and then just kind of getting set back up here. So yeah, settled in a little bit more and thought I'd come back with another podcast video. So let's just start off with what I'm wearing. So today I'm wearing my cardigan number 9, I believe it is, by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And it is made using Isair Aran Tweed in the color black, held together with Ito Sensei mohair in the color Coke. And in terms of like finished knits, this is probably my favorite one that I have right now. It's not the favorite one that I've made. My favorite knit that I've made is probably my heart-chained sweater, just because it was my first cabled sweater and I really love how it turned out. But just to wear every day and like day to day, I'm really in love with this one here. So the color is really beautiful. I really love it. And I have a lot of graphic tees, so I'm a big fan of the cardigans with kind of special graphic tees. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. In terms of finished objects, I just have one this week. I have a couple works in progress, and then I have some acquisitions from yarn that I actually bought while I was in Korea, but got it shipped to my home here. So I'll just show you guys some of those. Yeah, let's get started. So to start off, I will start with my finished object. And this was actually a gift for my mom, and I had finished it before I came back to Canada as a kind of a surprise gift for when I landed. And this is the Fimbos pullover by Teti's Knit Garden on YouTube. Teti's patterns, I've spoke about them before, but I'm just really in love with them. I think all of her patterns are just really works of art. This is the second pattern that I've made of hers. The other pattern I had made was my florarium sweater, which I had showed off in a previous video, which I really love. But yeah, this is it here. So I did the size 2, I believe, and what this sweater is basically a colorwork yoke sweater with some lace on the hems, so on the neckline, the sleeves, as well as the bottom of the sweater as well. So, and then you have your colorwork yoke with the, I would call them signature Teti floats in front, since I've really only seen her ever do it, and it was the first one that I had seen do it. So yeah, this was made using, what is the yarn? I don't believe I have any. Oh, maybe. Made using Twisted Willow hand-dyed yarn from Canada, and both of them are the same. So the main color and the color work contrast color is both the same yarn, just different colors. And these are their merino linen singles, and it's 90% superwash merino and 10% linen, and it's 394 yards per 100 grams. And the main color is dainty, and the contrast color is love note. So these are actually the exact recommended yarn, except for it's a different brand. So Teti's design used this exact same yarn makeup and yarn weight, and I was able to find it at the Knitting Loft in Toronto. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. My mom really loves it. She wears it to work and stuff like that. It's really nice, not necessarily a main sweater, but to wear kind of under something else, more like a shirt. It's really, really nice and beautiful. I will talk about just one problem I had was due to the floats in front. When you're knitting, you have to be very careful of the tension. So I didn't realize this when I made this, but and I didn't have the problem with my florarium sweater, but the front floats, because you're not actually knitting them, you're just passing them across, can be very tight. So this was actually a little bit too tight on the like upper parts here, the first like top rows. So for my mom to wear, and it kind of didn't sit over or didn't go over her shoulders correctly. So it sat very high up. So one thing I had to do was go into the floats and actually add a different yarn for the float, and then cut the float that was too tight, and then just weave in those ends to add a little bit more ease. And then I reblocked it, and it fixed it quite beautifully. So yeah, that was just a fix, and just something to keep in mind if you're working with your floats in front, like this pattern, or some other patterns by Teti that I know she does as well. But yeah, just a beautiful pattern, and I was really happy to finish this for my mom. So, and then I have 3 works in progress this week, and 2 new casts on from the works in progress. So the first one I'll just talk about, I had talked about in a previous video, and it is my Sunday slipover v-neck by Petite Knit. And I've made quite a bit of progress for this. I had knit this a little bit on the airplane, so I have connected in the body, worked through the body, and then I'm actually just working on the last 4 centimeters of the bottom ribbing today. Hopefully I'll get that done, and then I just have the ribbing in the neck and the 2 sleeves to do as well. So yeah, this is working up really beautifully. This is what I'm calling my K Handmade Fair vest, since the yarn I'm using for it I bought at the Korea Handmade Fair, and I kind of went with some yarn that I thought I could only find there. So I'll talk about a little bit about it. So the first yarn I'm using is a fingering weight yarn from Shandarok Yarns, which is a Tibetan yak, and it's 100% yak, and this is their feathery yak, I believe it's called, and I'm not sure on the color, but it's like the brownish purple. I'm really, really in love with this color here. And then I am also holding it with a hand-dyed mohair from a hand dyer in Korea, Personal Yarn, and this is the Decaying Rose. So it's a little bit of a purplish pink hand-dyed color, and it's coming together quite nicely. I'm really loving how it's turning out. I'm not sure if it'll come across on camera, but it's kind of pinkish, purplish brown. And I actually got tickets to go see Blackpink here in Toronto when they come this summer. So my second time seeing them, I saw them when they were first here for their first tour in 2019 in Hamilton. So I got tickets again this time, and I'm hoping to wear this for the concert. I know a lot of people wear kind of like concert outfits, and I think this will be a perfect vest to wear for the Blackpink concert. But yeah, I'm just slowly working on this. This is my main work in progress right now. I'm trying to get it finished as quickly as possible so I can work on my other 2, which I'll talk about here. Let me see. The next one, let me get the yarn just so I can talk about it. So the next one I actually cast on for my Harabaji cardigan by Egyo Knit, which is a um, kind of cabled all over cardigan. I just started on the sleeve. You actually knit the sleeve to the body, then cast on stitches for the body, and then work flat across the body. It's a kind of a unique pattern design, and then you start knitting the other sleeve. So you have this part of the sleeve that's kind of the 1x1 over chain, and then you also have a cable that goes up the side here, and then you have a moss stitch as well on the bottom of the sleeve. So yeah, this yarn I am using Rosa Pomar Baroa, which is 100% Portuguese wool, which I bought in South Korea, and it is what is this weight? It's about 230 meters per 100-gram ball here. So kind of a worsted Aran weight. What I really loved about this was, you see how it's kind of like one wool color, and then it kind of has kind of threads and chunks of a darker color in it. I thought that would be perfect for the Harabaji cardigan. So yeah, I just cast this on. I think this will be like, you have to work on this monogamously, because it is just such a not difficult, but work intensive knit, since it is all over cabled. But yeah, I did cast it on, started working on it a little bit, and then realized how intensive it was going to be. So I've put it over to the side while I finish some other projects. So I have definitely been in, as you can see, a cardigan mood. I have a lot of cardigans planned and on the go. So my next one here is my latest cast on, and it's the Brady Loop cardigan by Other Loops. And this is it here. I've done quite a bit actually on it. I've worked the back, the body, and then the sleeve increases, and I'm actually at the point where I put the sleeves on hold and then just work the body down flat. So I'm at that aspect, and I just have this on hold until I finish my slip over V-neck. But this one I am using some hand-dyed yarn by ZZ Textiles, and this is her new heirloom DK, and it's 40% Shetland wool, 40% BFL, and 20% alpaca, and you get about 250 yards per 100 grams skein, and it's in this beautiful colorway, which is Unanensis. It's very hard to pronounce, but I saw her post this color and I really fell in love with it. I had bought this yarn to make the sweater number 31 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, but once I got the yarn, I saw how beautiful the color was, and I thought that I wanted the color to be the main character to the piece that I make it with. So the sweater number 1 is a gorgeous sweater, or an all-over cabled sweater. I think I was looking at the sweater number 29, I believe it's the other one, or the all-over cabled cardigan / jacket that My Favorite Things Knitwear has. But I just thought I could use any any commercial yarn for those, and they would look beautiful because of the cables. So I wanted something where the color was kind of the standout. So I went with the Brady Loops cardigan. So it just has a cable that runs down the back here, as you can see, and it goes down the sleeves, and then you have another cable on the front kind of that goes down the sleeves as well. I'm sure you guys have seen the Brady Loop sweater. It's very similar design, except for it's just stockinette stitch and not the kind of ribbing, or I think it's like 6x3 ribbing that the cardigan or the sweater has. So yeah, the pattern calls for basically this yarn weight held with a lace weight, but I couldn't find any lace weight that I thought would be beautiful and not take away from the absolute beauty that is this colorway. So I made a swatch, which is very rare of me to make a swatch, but I made a swatch, and I was pretty happy with the gauge of the swatch, so I thought I could just get away with just using one strand. And I think it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look holey at all. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. But like I said, this one's just on hold until I get that vest done, because I'm really hoping to get that vest done pretty soon so I can work on other things. But yeah, really beautiful. And like I said, just been working away on a lot of cardigans recently. So yeah, that's all my works in progress. Yeah, that's all my works in progress. I'll talk about a little bit of my acquisitions. My acquisitions are some yarns that I ordered to my house, like I said, while I was away. So I'll just talk a little bit about those. The first one was this beautiful hand dye by ZZ Textiles, which I already talked about. But yeah, so I talked about that. Oh, I will say the cardigan, for the button band, it looks like it has a V button band, so it goes down like that, and then just ribbings on the cuffs and the bottom of the hem. So yeah, just a regular cardigan like that with a little cable detailing, which I thought was really pretty. But my next acquisition was maybe about twice a year. The Knitting Loft does like a 25% off, 40% off sale, something big like that. So I had the, is it Busan? I think it's Busan sweater by Aegyo Knit. It's the one with the big cable in the front. And I saw Strict Yoga on Instagram made a version using Gepard Willia in the color eggplant and aubergine, for one for the wool and then one for the lace weight. So I really fell in love with that, and I really want to copy that design. So they had the Gepard Willia in the purple. I think it's the Willia is the aubergine and the Kidsetta is the eggplant. If not, it's the reverse. But this is the colorway 480. And I think I needed about 14 of these to make my size in the Busan sweater. Oh, I will say for the Harabaji cardigan and the Brady Loops cardigan, I'm making the biggest size on both. So I believe it's either size 3 for the Harabaji or size 4 for the Harabaji and size 4 for the Brady Loop cardigan. So the biggest size on both. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. I picked this up when they had the big sale. They had 16 balls, so I just bought them all. And then when I'm going to cast on, I'm going to order the Kidsetta lace weight or silk mohair to hold with this. But this is going to be my Busan sweater, which I thought was really pretty. Another yarn that I ordered that just arrived when I was gone was there's a locally hand dyer here in Ontario called Winston Fibers Co. I've seen her quite a bit at a lot of the Ontario fiber festivals, and I always kind of try to pick up a skein of her yarn because she has really great themes and colorways. But she was having a one-of-a-kind sale for yarn that she just dyed that was one-of-a-kind yarn. So I picked up 4 skeins of the Heron in her Maisie fiber, which is 396 meters for 115 gram skein. So basically like a fingering weight. Just a really beautiful kind of blue heron colorway. I picked up 4 skeins of this, and eventually I'm going to hold this with another fingering and a lace or a suri to make another doppio sweater. I have made one doppio, and I really love the fit of that. So I used 3 skeins for my last doppio. So I bought 4 skeins, and I'm hoping to go up one size because the doppio is just a little bit smaller than I would have hoped. So I'm hoping to go up one size and use this for that, and I think will be a beautiful, beautiful colorway for a doppio sweater. And then my next one I picked up was another hand-dyed yarn from Sorella Yarn, and this is from her Eras collection, so her Taylor Swift collection, and this is her classic DK, and it's 100% superwash merino wool. You get 231 yards per 100 grams skein, and this is in her colorway Champagne Problems. So just a beautiful green. I picked this up because I do love Taylor Swift. It's Taylor Swift's music. I'm a bigger fan of her older stuff, like her first album or second album are some of my favorite albums of all time. But I do love her newer stuff, some of her indie stuff. I won't say anything else because I know there are a lot of Taylor Swift fans, and I don't want people to get the wrong idea, but I do love her Taylor Swift songs. So I picked up some yarn for that, and just a beautiful green. And I think this is going to be my tulip loop v-neck sweater by Other Loops. I really fell in love with the tulip loop sweater, and then she released a v-neck version, and I thought it was just really, really cool that you don't see a lot of sweaters with a v-neck version, so I thought I might as well make the v-neck version over the regular version. So I picked up this yarn, and I think I'm going to hold this with a lace weight. And I think I'm going to hold it with Isir Alpaca 1 in the color Time. I think that greenish brown would look perfect with this for the sweater. I did do another swatch of just this without the lace for the cabled pattern, and it was just a little too holy. So I'm going to hold this with a lace weight for that. But yeah, this is something down the line after I finish my current works in progress, and just yeah, really beautiful hand-dyed skein of yarn. And then my last acquisition is for a gift for my dad. For his birthday, I'm going to knit him a vest. I have made one vest previously I'm going to copy, but in a different colorway. I made the vest number 1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And I actually held 2 Knitting for Olive merinos together with a Isir spinny, and I got a really beautiful kind of heathered marled vest. So I'm gonna copy that, and I'm going to make a bluish gray one for my dad. So I'm using the Isir spinny in the color 11S, and this is 100% pure new wool, and it's about 50 grams. You get 300 meters. So this is going to be my lace weight equivalent. And I'm going to hold that with the Supreme Tweed by Majo, which in this color soft gray, 604. And this is 100% superfine merino wool, and you get 350 meters per 50 grams. So this is a little bit lighter than a fingering, maybe a light fingering. And I'm going to hold that with the Knitting for Olive merino in the blue jeans. So I think the grayish with the blue will look really beautiful instead of a white. So just a little bit more darker contrast I think will look beautiful. I didn't really see any Knitting for Olives in a grayish or whitish when I was at the knitting loft. Their Knitting for Olive is normally very picked over since it is such a popular yarn. So yeah. Oh, actually there's a yarn store by my house that actually just opened that carries Knitting for Olive, so maybe I should check that out as well. I think they have a variety as well. So, but yeah, I'm gonna hold those together and make the vest number 1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And then yeah, another finished object. I don't know if people are interested. I just made a painting recently, which is this here, a colorwork painting. And this is of Sakura from Le Seraphim, one of my favorite idols, for their new comeback, Hot. If you haven't listened, go take a listen. Ash by Le Seraphim, great song, really, really good. If you like kind of slow, saddish songs, go check it out. But yeah, this is just a painting I've done recently. Yeah, I've been really loving the watercolors. I didn't really have the biggest setup when I was in Korea, so I'm going to get back to painting a little bit more while I'm here. But oh, another thing I will mention, since I got back home, I've taken up baking. So I don't know, I feel like a lot of makers or people that enjoy knitting and stuff like that that would watch this video would be a fan of baking as well. So if you have any tips for making bread or making pastries, I'm really interested in making pastries, like kind of a flaky Danish, stuff like that. Please let me know in the comments below. I'm always interested to find channels or learn. I picked up the Tartine book by Chad Robertson, I believe it is. I heard was a really kind of like a staple in the bread making industry. So yeah, I've just been baking a little bit. Yesterday I made croissants. It took me a really long time. Yeah, been interested in baking. So if you have any baking tips, or if you think that would be interesting to see on these videos, let me know. I would love to add them to these videos as well. But yeah, just I think a little bit of a quicker video this week again. Just been, my finished objects have been slowing down a little bit, so yeah. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.